South Korea is working to secure the safe return of hundreds of citizens after they were caught up in an immigration raid last week. A dramatic scene on Thursday when federal agents executed a raid on a Hyundai facility and battery plant in Georgia, arresting 475 people, a majority of them South Korean nationals. The raid was the largest single-site immigration enforcement operation in DHS history. Now, the White House is warning more large-scale worksite raids will follow.
One thing I think that's been unclear through all this is why did ICE and a specific part of the ICE HSI go to this plant? They were looking for 4 Latino workers. That's it. In fact, when ICE went to this plant, we have now found out they didn't understand that there were a lot of Koreans there. The Koreans were never part of the plan, which is why they didn't even bring a single Korean translator with them. It turns out that the vast majority of these Korean workers weren't pounding nails. They weren't building facilities. They were working on what's called after sales service and installation, pursuant to valid visas in the United States. Every one of these individuals had entered on a visa. They had told Customs and Border Protection why they were here. For those that actually had visas as opposed to ESTA, they had gone to the consulate and explained they were working for companies that were selling the parts of the plant that create the batteries from their foreign companies. It turns out there's only 3 companies in the entire world that actually make the equipment that allows you to make batteries. And none of those companies are in the United States. These individuals were working for those companies in installing the plant so the plant could then employ U.S. workers.
Hello, people. It's an honor to have you today in my YouTube channel. For those who are new here and first-time viewers, I'm Marvin, and please and kindly feel free to hit the subscribe icon below and follow my page. If you find this video educative, you can as well share to your family and friends, and also like this video up. Our focus today will be in Georgia, in United States of America. On a recent ICE raid on a Hyundai plant in Georgia, 475 South Koreans were arrested in the raid. A congresswoman, Tory Branham, is the woman behind the ICE raid in Georgia. She called and she snitched onto the ICE raid, and she clearly said that the people who are working at the plants are illegal immigrants, and clearly the people who were working there were there illegally, and they were giving knowledge to United States of America people on how to make batteries so that they can be dependent on themselves. From the videos you are going to watch, we'll get to understand that there are 3 only countries that are capable of producing batteries, and that's why South Korea, which has good relation with the United States of America, agreed to give the people of Georgia knowledge on how to make batteries, and so that they can support themselves up. This is so bad because I believe that 8,000 people were about to get jobs in this plant. But this congresswoman, imagine what she would have done if she was in the seat. She is running to be in the Congress seat. But let's watch the following videos I have compiled, and we'll come back at the end and discuss the subject matter also. Out of it, Hyundai was bringing 8,000 jobs into US economy. On a recent job opportunities in the United States of America, the United States government has injected only 22,000 jobs into the economy and job market. But this plant in Georgia by the Hyundai through the South Koreans, it would have given the American people more job opportunities for the people who live in Georgia. But one mistake from this current woman, Tory Branham, a congresswoman who I believe she is running for the Congress seat. You need also to be on the watch out, because this is so bad. Marvel Studios is also relocating from United States of America to United Kingdom because of tariff wars, high tax rates in United States of America. Trump also needs to look into what brings more money into the economy. He could have asked for advice before doing such a kind of horrible thing. This workforce would have helped the economy in United States of America. Let's watch the following videos, and I'll come back with more commentary. The following video is the woman who betrayed United States of America. She is brave, and she is like, she tells us all that she feels happy for what she had done. Let's watch the following video of her sparking how brave she was calling ICE on the site in Georgia. Let's watch.
So there were 452 illegals apprehended at the Hyundai mega plant construction site yesterday near Savannah. And I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE. But it goes beyond just someone working illegally. Let me explain to you. These people are working for slave wages. Some are not getting paid. Some are being trafficked. They send money home to their country. They give money to their handler. They have hardly anything left. They live in homes 5 families deep, have no quality of life. It's modern day slavery. So if you think that ICE is just going in and ripping people out of their jobs, these hardworking people that want a better life, well, guess what? Politicians have really screwed these people, because when they came here, they thought they were, hey, the border's open, we're coming in, we're going to get the 5-star treatment, and we can go to the big Walmart, and we can live in a 5-star hotel, and that's just not how it is. It's very bad conditions, very inhumane, and the Biden administration started a humanitarian crisis. So y'all can't just look at it like they're ripping good people off the job. They're probably saving their lives in the long run.
This message is for the Karen who thought reporting Hyundai subcontractors to ICE was helping. So let's unpack the damage you created. So ICE, if those don't know, raided Hyundai's $7.6 billion battery plant site in Georgia, detaining 475 subcontractors. So these were not Hyundai employees, but the very workers building and training for America's clean energy future. And so here's the fallout. South Korea issued a statement of concern and regret and announced they're sending their own planes to retrieve their citizens because they do not trust the U.S. government to do the right thing, fearing that their workers might just disappear. Another creator actually nailed it on the head. These subcontractors weren't just building. They were training Americans in specialized high-tech work. So now that pipeline of knowledge is gone, and with it, billions in potential. So let's be clear. Racism is costing the United States, and especially the state of Georgia, millions, if not billions. And the politicians cheering this raid on, some are even running for Senate in Georgia, including that Karen. So this isn't protecting anyone. It's self-sabotage. And while all this is happening, as a reminder, Marvel Studios is also pulling out of Atlanta. They're moving their productions to the UK with more than 20,000 jobs. Global industries are watching, and they do not want to invest in instability. Georgia is bleeding jobs, global trust, and economic stability, and so is the rest of the United States. Racism isn't just about hate, it's about the price tag that we all have to pay.
I don't think William Tecumseh Sherman did as much damage to the state of Georgia as that woman who called ICE on Hyundai and their employees, had them all detained, and now South Korea is throwing a massive fit. They sent their own citizens down to train Americans so that they could be fully functional in this factory. Trump and MAGA complain all the time. Where are the jobs? Where are the jobs? They're overseas. Bring them back to America. And then when we finally do, some dumbass, bitch-ass idiot calls ICE and has these people detained. Now South Korea has sent a plane, picked up all their asses, and who knows if they're ever coming back. This is going to take 8,000 plus jobs away from the state of Georgia, and possibly many more, and all this manufacturing that they would have had, all the money this would have generated for the state of Georgia and our country is now potentially gone, and that may just be that little portion. There could be more significant backlash coming from South Korea, Hyundai, any other South Korean company who was thinking of bringing jobs over to America is going to think twice now, because some idiot decided to call ICE. They decided to call ICE on these people and have 400 plus human beings who have done nothing illegal detained. Good job. And this woman is running, I believe, for Congress. Yeah, have fun with that. Republican, Democrat, whatever. I can't imagine anybody in the state of Georgia is on board with what that foolish person did. So, yeah, Sherman may have burned his way to Atlanta, but you set Georgia ablaze as well.
I wonder if the higher-ups or the government came down and called her and cussed her out for causing this much of an uproar, because not only did you cause an international fumble, you caused a generational fumble and you hurt your own constituents. She is learning the very hard lesson that a lot of y'all are learning right now, is that racism is expensive. It is expensive. It is very expensive. And a lot of y'all cannot cash that check. Like, I just want to know if someone in the higher ups of the government called her personally. She probably thought it was a huge honor that they know who she is and they called her, because she's not even in the door to local government. She's not even in the door. She's not in the door. And they probably cussed her out because you just caused an international fumble with one of our biggest allies. If you were that concerned about the workers, why didn't you call OSHA? If you were that concerned about the working conditions for these workers, why didn't you call OSHA? But you called them.
Karens don't call the manager anymore, they call ICE. And in Georgia, that phone call shut down a whole plant. So over the weekend, ICE raided the Hyundai plant in Georgia. And you know who set it off? A woman named Tori Branham. Yeah, Tori picked up the phone and called ICE like she was reporting noise in the neighborhood to the HOA president. But no, she was reporting workers. And here's the kicker. She's running for Congress as a Republican. Now, here's the part they don't really want you to know. Most of those workers from the raid were not undocumented. They were actually here legally through a government program. The government knew it, and Tori knew it too when she made the call. But still, ICE showed up anyway. Because see, let's be real. None of this is ever about legality. It's about making sure folks know they're not welcome. And that, you all, is the American-made truth. When Karens run out of neighbors to call on, they go call the feds. Because see, Karens are American-born, bred, and raised. And their natural habitat is other people's business. So while Tori is out here weaponizing ICE as her campaign commercial, you need to understand the bigger picture. This is what happens when xenophobia isn't just tolerated, it's actually rewarded. The system doesn't need you to be guilty of anything. All it takes is one phone call from a wannabe congresswoman, and boom, lives flipped upside down. So Georgia residents, y'all better pay attention. Because if this is what Tori does as a resident Karen, imagine what she'll do with a seat in Congress.
I really don't understand the ICE raid on the Hyundai power plant. It's so comically illogical that my first thought was somebody close to Trump from within his organization is trying to sabotage him by giving stupid instructions to ICE. Because one of the main reasons for tariffs is to encourage foreign companies to operate in US soil. And not for nothing, like, that's a valid way to use tariffs. All my liberal friends became like the most obnoxious version of someone who's taken Econ 101, like, oh, tariffs get passed straight to the consumer. No, sometimes companies like Hyundai decide to build a factory in the USA to get around the tariffs. I'm not bringing that up to say like the tariffs were like a win. I don't know what the net effect of that was. But Hyundai building a plant in the USA to hire US workers to produce batteries for them to sell, that is literally the textbook scenario of success with the tariff. Literally exactly what you want. And then he raids it with ICE and gets rid of the people. The Koreans were there to set up the factory, which is harder than working at the factory, right? Is setting it up for the first time, and then train US workers to do the job. I tend to give people credit. Like Trump winning the 2016 election, a lot of you are too young to remember this. Like in 2015, Fox News and the Republican Party did not like him. He had to beat the Republicans, and then he had to beat Hillary Clinton to become president for the first time. So I've never thought that he was dumb. I don't think he's a mastermind. Like, oh, 4D chess. Like, you know, like I've seen those memes, like his supporters. Like, I don't think that. But he's not dumb. But now I'm thinking that he might actually be. And everything else was like a crazy, happy, lucky accident. Like, that's very hard to believe. I think he was smart, and now his mind is starting to go. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Like, what did he think was going to happen? Like, right or wrong, I can't even understand what his thought process was.
With the videos we have just watched, do you support the ICE raids that happened in Georgia from ICE? Are you against what happened? It is so sad because 8,000 jobs were injected into the economy of United States of America, not specifically Georgia, but this would have greatly helped to balance the economy in United States of America. But this Karen woman, she is so proud of what she did. She feels like she did something better. That's why she has come to the media and claimed she was the one who made that call to ICE so that ICE could raid the plant site in Georgia. Also, this shows you how Trump doesn't care about American people. He only cares about his own pocket. I believe South Korea injected billions of dollars into the US economy. Trump got the money into his pocket. Now he doesn't care about the welfare of the American people. Yeah, do you agree with that? Yes, I totally agree with it, because the job market in the United States of America only stands at 22,000 jobs because the US economy is shrinking. High tariff rates making big companies like the Marvel Studios to relocate to United Kingdom because of high tariffs and high taxation rate. Also, Trump needs to be on the watch out because the next coming elections, it is him with the citizens. No one will be there to back him up. He needs to look into the welfare of American people. He needs to apologize to the South Korean government. The South Korean government, I believe they have pride within themselves. The government from South Korea clearly sent plane to pick up their 475 detained aliens because they were there legally, and Trump has sent ICE to pick them up. I believe South Korea is picking up their workforce, and I believe also that Trump will greatly regret this move by ICE. Also, this needs to come to an end. It is not only the black people who face racism, it is also the South Korean people in the United States of America. That woman clearly says that the people who are working there were working in harsh conditions, but they were there legally because I believe they were given full support by the South Korean government, and they had documents to work in Georgia and provide knowledge to people of Georgia. The people of Georgia also need to demonstrate this move. They need to apologize to the South Koreans, and ICE needs to apologize also to the South Korean government because before this matter gets out of hand. Let me know your comments. Let me know your thoughts about this episode. Is Georgia going to shrink? Is US economy going to stabilize when Hyundai is moving out of America and Marvel Studios and other major companies moving out of America because of high tariff rates, and Trump doesn't care about the welfare of other people who are legally there in America so that they can be able to stabilize the economy of United States of America? Remember, the dollar is shrinking, and I believe the dollar has a strong sign, but with this move by Trump, the dollar sign will surely shrink to the bottom. Let's get to know each other more on the next episode, and I'll keep you updated on how this happening happens because South Korea is there to pick up their citizens because they are people who are patriotic to themselves, and they were only helping the United States of America with knowledge on how to make batteries so that they can be able to stabilize their economy. See you on the next episode, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.